I found a new antique mall about 30 minutes from my house, so let's go ahead and head through this and see what I can find. First thing I found was this Pac-Man lunchbox, but they wanted way too much money for it. However, it was definitely cool to see this out in the wild. Then I continued on where I found a few games here, a Wii game that was a racing game. Then I found some Guitar Hero games, which I thought about picking up, but ultimately decided on passing on, even though, I love picking up Guitar Hero games. Then there were a few more games in the bin, but nothing interesting. This place was packed full of little figures. I even found these Mario figures, which were pretty interesting, but every time I see these, I feel like they're probably fake. This next booth had a few Wii games here, and then I found NHL 22 for the Xbox One sealed, which was kind of interesting, but still too expensive. Then I continued on down the flea market indoor antique booth and found a few more Xbox 360 games here. I thought they were interesting. I saw this Fast and Furious game and thought about picking it up until I realized they wanted 20 bucks for it, which is just way too much money. It's worth like maybe 10 in that condition. Then I saw the Sonic plushie, a Mario plushie, but they wanted way too much. Then I turned around and found this interesting looking Mario game. I'm not quite sure what to call this, but it looked interesting. Then I got to this glass case where I ended up finding some interesting stuff. First off, the Lego Mario at the top. Then I saw that Charizard at the bottom, and back behind that was a few games, and I ended up picking up 2 Wii U games for $5 each. They had Mario Kart 8, which was definitely worth the $5. I think this is worth like $10 to $12. And then Super Mario 3D World, which again, $5. This is probably worth $10. So $10 into 25. I feel like this is a good pickup. And I really don't see Wii U games in my area very much, so I went ahead and grabbed these. Then I found this booth that had a bunch of different figures. You've got a ton of Yoshis, a bunch of Marios, even some Mario Kart stuff, which was pretty cool to see. But I didn't need any of these, especially for $5 to $10, which is just too much. A few games here and there on the shelf. Then this next booth ended up having a bunch of Wii games here, and then up above, even more games. Now, I was definitely tempted to pick some of these up, especially I thought about grabbing Heavy Rain, but I think it was a little too expensive, so I left it behind, and I kept going where I found this Santa hat Pikachu, which was pretty cute for $7, and then a few games here at this booth kind of in the corner hidden away. Another Pikachu. I guess there's a few Pikachu plushes in this store, which is pretty cool to see. And then I ended up stumbling on a few Xbox One games here. They're all priced at different pricing, but the game that ultimately ended up catching my eye and I ended up grabbing was Fallout New Vegas, the Ultimate Edition. Now, they wanted $10 for this game, which is a decent price considering if you look this up on price starting right now, it's going for around $30 complete, so I definitely had to grab this. I don't have it for the Xbox One/360. I have it for the 360, so I figured for $10, I grabbed this one. It'd be a no-brainer considering how much this is going for currently, and honestly, not a bad pickup, but there's more we've got to find. Then I ended up seeing this Wii Fit Plus board in the box for way too much money at this booth, and right next to this booth ended up seeing a few Switch games and a glass case. But again, these are a little too expensive for my taste considering they are just the loose cartridges. So I moved on from there. But right when I was going to leave, I noticed a few Game Boy games here at the top. But again, nothing I needed. So I continued on. Here again, walked down these aisles in search of some more stuff, and then I found this booth which had a ton of video game stuff. First off, NES games, which are interesting because I usually don't see these in my area. Then I found this new Super Mario Bros. Wii console for $100. This is definitely a good pickup. They had a few things up above as well, like this Borderlands 3 and Cyberpunk set. But I ended up grabbing this thing, so we're gonna have to open it up and see if everything is in it. This is what it looks like on the front, and then on the back you've got Mario on Yoshi. But I haven't opened this up. It's still taped up, so I'm gonna try to peel it off, but probably will just end up resulting in me using my scissors. So I'm just gonna skip right to that, and we're just gonna get to it. This thing is packed full and heavy, so I'm hoping we definitely have some good stuff here, but we will definitely have to see when I take this out. I hope everything's in it, to be honest with you, because I didn't look. It was still taped, but, ooh, there's extra, ooh, okay, I'm definitely happy with what I'm seeing here. Oh, there's even more! Oh my goodness. This was a good pickup. This was definitely not expected. First off, I have a Wii Play here, and then the manuals and a random controller card. And then I got a Wii Motion Plus controller here, which is pretty cool, and as well as the power cord and a nunchuck that is still wrapped, which is nice to see. But hopefully everything is in here, because I'm going to be disappointed if it's not. Oh, okay. We do have the Super Mario Galaxy official soundtrack, which is totally awesome. It's pretty cool to see that they actually had this in it, as well as Mario, the new Super Mario Bros. Wii is in here as well. Definitely glad both of these were in there. But then there's more. We've got ESPN or EA Sports Masters, which is not a good game probably. And then we got Wii Sports, which is like a I really hope this is in the system. We're going to have to check that out as well. Then we've got the AV cords here, as well as another Wii Motion Plus controller. Totally awesome. And last but not least, we've got the console here down below. But we're going to have to plug this thing in and see if there's a disc in it. So let's get it plugged in and turned on and see. Ooh, Wii Sports was in it. Okay, so this ended up being well worth it. For $100, this complete is worth around $200, so that's a good deal. But I also ended up getting 3 extra games that I was not expecting. The first 2 are maybe worth $10 together, and then this is worth probably $20. So $100 to $230, I think, is a pretty good deal. But we also ended up picking up those other games, so this ended up being a really good haul with all of these games, plus this Wii from this antique mall that I have never been to before, so I'm so glad that I ended up going there. But I'm going to get out of here because I want to test this thing and make sure everything works. But check out that video out if you haven't already. But man, this ended up being really good. I figured it was just alright, but then this thing just made this stop way more worth it. So go ahead and check out antique malls in your area. But I'm getting out of here, so check out that video out if you haven't already.